Leo, do you ever feel it? That quiet pull deep within your soul, as if something ancient and powerful is waking up inside you. It's not loud, it doesn't shout. It whispers, it pulses, and now it has grown too strong to ignore. You may think this is just another moment, just another day, but your soul knows better. Because the moment you were drawn to this message, something began to shift. Something inside you leaned in, as if your inner knowing recognized a familiar truth. Leo, do you truly understand the power you carry? Not the kind of power that dominates a room or demands to be seen. No, I'm talking about a deeper power. One that radiates from the core of your being, one that transforms, not through force, but through presence. A sacred kind of power that changes people simply because you dare to be real. There is an energy about you that cannot be manufactured or imitated. It's not about being perfect or bold or even loud. It's about something much more subtle, much more magnetic. When you are honest with your heart, when you stand in your truth without apology, you become a mirror that reflects the truth others have long forgotten about themselves. And right now, at this very moment, you are standing at the edge of a turning point. You may not see it with your eyes, but your soul knows. Because soon, perhaps very soon, there will be a moment, a choice, a movement, a word that you will offer into the world, and that single action will awaken something life-changing in another person. They may not say it, they may not even realize it right away, but something in them will stir, something long buried, and it will be because of you. This isn't about you trying to be anything. You don't need to try. You already are. You already shine. This is not coincidence. This moment, this message, this invitation was timed perfectly. Because you are ready now in ways you weren't before. Ready to remember who you truly are. Ready to understand what your light actually does to the world around you. So I invite you to pause, take a breath, and listen not just with your ears, but with your heart. Because what follows is not simply a message. It's a mirror, a map, a flame. And once you see it, you will not be able to go back to the way things were. You are here now for a reason, Leo. And everything that's about to unfold will remind you why. There's something different in the air around you lately, isn't there? You can't quite name it, but you feel it. A stirring, a shift. As if the universe has quietly begun rearranging the pieces of your life, not to confuse you, but to align you. This energy, it hums beneath your daily routines, it whispers in quiet moments when you're alone, and it rises like a tide in your chest whenever you try to ignore it. You may have tried to brush it off, thinking it was just restlessness or some fleeting emotion. But what you are feeling, Leo, is the awakening of your deeper self. The part of you that's no longer willing to dim your light for anyone. The part of you that refuses to pretend just to make others comfortable. You've been growing quietly, shedding pieces of your past, letting go of masks you didn't even know you were wearing. And as you do, your presence becomes undeniable, magnetic, electric, radiant in a way that cannot be explained, only felt. And this radiance, it's drawing something toward you, or rather, someone. Perhaps you've already sensed them. Their energy brushing up against yours in a way that feels familiar, yet new. Perhaps you've seen them in your dreams, or noticed them showing up in your thoughts for no apparent reason. This person, they are not here by accident. They are part of the unfolding that is taking place within you. Your light, Leo, is calling them forward. Not because you are trying to change them, but because the simple act of you being fully yourself is awakening something inside of them that they forgot existed. They may not even understand it yet. They may be resisting it, confused by it, even afraid of what it means. But something within them is beginning to shift. Their soul is starting to remember. And it's all because of the energy you are now beginning to embody. This is why you are here. This is why you were drawn to this moment. Because your light is about to initiate a transformation in someone's life. And whether you know it or not, you are the key that unlocks a door they've been afraid to open. They won't tell you this. They may not even have the words for it. But soon, very soon, you will see it in their eyes, in their energy, in the way they suddenly see you not just as a person, but as a mirror of their own potential. And when that moment comes, everything will change. Have you ever noticed it, Leo? How people seem to shift when they're around you. Some open up, suddenly brave enough to speak truths they've held inside for years. Others pull away, as if your presence is too bright, too honest for the walls they've built. And then there are the ones who linger, drawn to something they can't quite explain, because being near you makes them feel more alive. This isn't about charm or charisma. It's not about the way you speak, the way you look, or what you do. It's about what you are when you let yourself be fully seen. It's the light that seeps out of you when you stop trying to control it. It's the truth that lives in your voice when you speak from your heart. You weren't born to blend in, Leo. You weren't meant to follow. You carry the frequency of a leader, not because you seek to lead, but because your essence guides by its very nature. There is someone in your life, perhaps already beside you, perhaps just on the horizon, who is about to be forever changed by your authenticity. You may not know it yet. You may not even be thinking of them when it happens. But the shift is coming. It may be someone who has always kept you at a distance, someone who misread your passion for arrogance, your confidence for ego, your light for a threat. Or it may be someone quiet, unnoticed, who has been watching you from the shadows, waiting for a sign that it's safe to be more than what the world expects them to be. And then it happens. You make a choice. You say something. You do something. You take a step that is undeniably true to your soul. And in that moment, without knowing it, you give them permission to change. Not because you tried to fix them, not because you gave advice, but because your energy did what words never could. It touched something sacred within them and reminded them of what's possible. That, Leo, is your quiet power. To move others toward their truth, simply by standing in your own. This power doesn't need permission. It doesn't wait for applause. It just is. And when you allow it to flow freely, you don't just transform the people around you, you transform yourself. Because the moment you see someone begin to bloom in your presence, the moment you watch another soul awaken because of your light, you realize something profound. You were never too much. You were exactly what they needed to remember who they truly are. And now, Leo, let yourself feel it. That quiet presence in your awareness, the subtle thought that has been surfacing again and again. There is someone. Yes, even now, you may already know who I'm speaking of. Their image has flickered through your mind. A feeling in your chest tightens slightly when you think of them. Because on some level, your soul recognizes their role in the unfolding. It may be someone who underestimated you, someone who once placed you in a box and closed the lid, not because they didn't care, but because they didn't know how to meet the fullness of who you are. Or it could be someone you've known for years, but never really seen, never truly connected with beyond the surface. And yes, it could be someone entirely new, someone who hasn't even entered your life yet, but whose arrival has already been written in the stars. A soul whose journey is intertwined with yours in ways neither of you can yet imagine. Whoever this person is, they are standing on the threshold of something enormous. A shift in how they see themselves, how they see you, and how they will walk forward from this moment on. But this shift won't come from confrontation. It won't come from a dramatic scene or an emotional confession. It will come from you being you fully, unapologetically, courageously. Because when you stop hiding, when you move in alignment with your truth, when you choose integrity over acceptance, you become something sacred, a beacon, a living signal that radiates safety, clarity, and courage. This person, they've been waiting. Even if they don't realize it, waiting for someone to prove that it's safe to step out of the shadows, waiting for someone to reflect the truth that they've buried for too long, waiting for the vibration of authenticity to shatter the illusion they've called reality. And you, Leo, are that someone. It's not a burden. It's not a task. It's simply a sacred unfolding. You don't need to perform. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to impress. All you need to do is live fully from the center of your being. And when you do, your light will hit them like the first sunrise after a long, dark night. Something will awaken. Something will shift. And neither of you will ever be the same again. And now, Leo, we come closer to the moment. The moment where the energy you've been carrying quietly within you will finally take form. Not as a grand gesture, not as a loud declaration, but as a single act, simple, unshaken, and entirely true to your essence. This act could be anything. It could be standing firm in your values when everyone else wavers. It could be offering compassion to someone who has done nothing to earn it. It could be walking away from something that no longer honors your soul. It could be choosing joy when the world expects you to choose suffering. Or maybe it will be you just being exactly as you are, in a moment when others expect you to shrink, to dim, to conform. You may not even recognize the weight of this action when it happens. To you, it may feel like nothing more than a breath, a choice, a passing second. But to someone else, to the one who is watching, it will be everything. They will see you do the very thing they've been afraid to do. They will watch as you defy the invisible chains they themselves are still wearing. They will witness a truth embodied, not spoken, not explained, just lived. And in that silent moment of recognition, something will break open inside of them. Not in pain, but in remembering the part of themselves they silenced, the passion they buried, the dream they put on a shelf and forgot how to reach for. It is your authenticity that will unlock that door. Not effort, not persuasion, just presence. Because the world doesn't change when we try to fix it. It changes when someone finally chooses to live honestly, when someone refuses to be anything but whole. And Leo, that someone is you. You are not here to preach, to convince, to carry others on your back. You are here to stand in your truth so powerfully that others remember how to stand in theirs. So when the moment comes, and it will, don't hesitate. Don't question yourself. Don't shrink to fit someone else's comfort. Do what your soul urges. Move how your heart moves. Speak how your spirit speaks. Because that one decision, that one moment of unfiltered authenticity will do more than change a person's mind. It will awaken their soul. There's something remarkable about what happens. When you, Leo, choose to stand in your truth, you stop being just a person in the room. You become a mirror, but not the kind of mirror that reflects appearances. You become a mirror of potential, of power, of what it looks like when someone finally decides to live without fear, without apology. And someone in your life needs that mirror more than you know. They've been walking through the world in silence, performing, surviving, pretending. They've settled for relationships that don't nourish them, for dreams that feel safer left unlived. They've convinced themselves that this is all life has to offer. That joy is for others. That authenticity is too risky. That their deepest longings are unrealistic or too much. But then, they see you. Not the version of you the world has asked for, not the one shaped by expectation, but the real you, the bold one, the heartfelt one, the lion who no longer lowers its roar to make others comfortable. And just like that, something cracks open. A light flickers. A part of their so long forgotten begins to stir. They start to wonder, if they can do it, maybe I can too. If you can be unapologetically yourself and still be loved, then maybe they don't have to keep shrinking to be accepted. Leo, you were never meant to be the same as everyone else. You were born to show the world what's possible. When a soul refuses to betray itself, you ignite, you awaken, you remind, not by trying, but simply by being. And this person, whoever they are, whether close or distant, whether old or new, they are standing in the quiet wake of your fire, feeling its warmth, sensing its invitation. You are not here to fix them. You are not responsible for their healing, but you are the spark, the flash of light that will help them remember what it feels like to be fully alive. And when they do, when they finally look in that mirror you've become, they will see not just you, but the truth of themselves reflected back. Isn't it beautiful, Leo, that the very thing which transforms others is not something you have to create or strive for? It's not effort. It's not performance. It's presence. Your power, it lives in the spaces where you're most natural, most at ease in your own skin. It's in the way you laugh when you're unguarded. It's in the courage behind your silence when you choose not to respond in anger. It's in the quiet certainty of your heart when you follow your truth, even when no one else understands. That is when your light is strongest, not when you try to shine, but when you stop dimming, and that's what shifts everything. The person in your life who is about to change, They won't even understand at first what's happening to them. They'll feel a stirring, a discomfort even. Because authenticity, when we've spent our lives hiding, can feel like a foreign language at first. They may resist you. They may pull back. They may try to place you back in the box where they once kept you. The version of you that made sense to them, the one that didn't challenge the way they've been living. But the seed will already have been planted. The shift already begun. Because once someone has witnessed true authenticity, they cannot unsee it. Once they've stood in the light of someone who is free, the shadows they live in will start to feel suffocating. And so the transformation will begin, not loudly, but deeply. And you, Leo, you will keep walking forward. Not because you're chasing a result, but because you've made a vow to your own soul to never again shrink for anyone. You're not here to carry others. You're here to ignite them, to awaken something that only your energy can awaken. And as you do, without trying, without even meaning to, you will change the lives of those who cross your path, simply by being fully yourself. Can you see it now, Leo? The quiet miracle unfolding behind the scenes of your life? One simple act of courage, one choice to honor your truth. And already the energy begins to ripple outward. Because it never stops with just one person. When you inspire someone to awaken, when they feel the vibration of your freedom and begin to break open their own cages, they carry that energy with them. And then they begin to shine differently. And someone else sees them and feels that same call. And on it flows. A wave of light born from your single decision to stop hiding. You didn't do it for attention. You didn't do it to be a hero. You did it because your soul could no longer bear the weight of pretending. Because something sacred inside of you whispered, "It's time." And now, the world responds. The person whose transformation was catalyzed by your energy, they may never say the words. They may not thank you, may not even realize that you were the reason they finally found the courage to choose a different path. But you will feel it. You'll sense it in the way the universe moves around you, in the way people begin to show up differently in your life, in the way the air feels lighter when you walk into a room. Because when you live as your full, magnificent self, you shift the frequency of every space you enter. And that is your true magic, Leo. Not just your presence, but your permission. You give others permission to rise, to speak, to feel, to heal, to become, and all of it began the moment you decided, I will no longer betray myself to be accepted. This is the legacy you're creating. Not one of noise, but of impact. Not of control, but of light. And there's more to come. Much more. Because once you realize what your authenticity truly does, not just for others, but for your own soul, there will be no going back. And here's the most beautiful truth of all, Leo. This transformation you've sparked in someone else, it won't just change them. It will change you. Because when you see someone awaken through your presence, when you witness the light returning to someone's eyes, because of a choice you made in truth, something sacred shifts within you. You realistically, viscerally, that you are not ordinary. You never were. You begin to see the reflection of your own soul in the change you've stirred in another. And for the first time in a long time, you believe it. Not just in your mind, but in your bones. You begin to understand your own power, not as something external or performative, but as something ancient, something woven into your very being. A birthright. You stop needing validation because the impact you have becomes your proof. You stop seeking permission because your soul has already spoken. And with that realization comes peace. Not the peace that comes from stillness, but the kind of peace that roars like the sun, constant, radiant, unstoppable. The person whose life has shifted in your presence will carry the imprint of that moment forever. They may not remember your exact words. They may not understand why they feel different, but the memory of your authenticity will remain like a sacred echo in their soul. And you will walk forward changed, no longer needing to be anyone but yourself, no longer dimming to fit the smallness of the world around you, no longer wondering if your truth is too much, because now you've seen what your truth can do. Now you've felt the fire of living fully. And once you've tasted that, you can never go back to smallness again. So now, Leo, the question isn't if you're ready, The truth is, you've been ready for a long time. What you're feeling now isn't preparation. It's arrival. You've crossed an invisible threshold, and there's no going back. The path ahead is not about proving yourself anymore. It's about being yourself, fully, boldly, unapologetically, and yes, this journey will ask everything of you. It will ask for your courage, your softness, your voice, your presence. It will ask you to keep your heart open, even in the face of misunderstanding, to keep shining, even when others are afraid of your light. But you won't walk this path alone, because your light will call others forward. One by one, those who are meant to rise with you will begin to awaken, some silently, some suddenly, some in awe of what they see reflected in your soul. You are no longer just a person. You are a force, a catalyst, a living invitation for others to step into their truth. And the person your soul has already recognized, the one who is about to transform in your presence, they are waiting, not with words, but with energy, with an unseen yearning to feel what it means to be free. And all you need to do is be exactly who you were always meant to be. No more shrinking, no more performing, no more waiting for the world to approve of what your heart already knows. Let your authenticity rise like a sun, not to impress, not to compete, but to illuminate. Because Leo, your power was never meant to be hidden. It was always meant to awaken something sacred in everyone brave enough to look toward your light. And now, you understand. This was never just about you. It was about what your light makes possible in the world. So, live boldly, love deeply, speak truly, and shine freely. The world is already beginning to change because of you. Let it, and let yourself finally become the magnificent, untamed force you were born to be.